Alright. Since past me, I was going to write a song, I was going to upload a song, but unfortunately, past me are so out of beat that editing me doesn't want to deal with that anymore. And hey, future me, be sure to, censor out the vulgar language I did, and it's probably not gonna happen anymore. So, now that the song's out of the way, no more song, no more song, no more song. Let's talk about Cheeseman. That's right, we're talking about Cheeseman. He's coming up in the screen. He's fading into the screen, editing me. You're doing that right now. You're doing that right now. I swear, editing me. If you're just skipping over this, and I'll beat you up. So yeah, Cheeseman. We're gonna talk about Cheeseman, quote unquote, season 1, which is just like the first era of future Cheeseman comics if we're ever going to make a comic. So Cheeseman, also known as Chester B. Cheddington, because get it, cheese puns, cheese puns. And he goes to a fantasy factory on an elementary school field trip and gets his superpowers from magical, not magical, but science related fondue pot. Makes its own fondue. And yeah, he doesn't do anything with his powers because he's a freaking elementary school child. He's not gonna come up with anything creative than eat cheese. Maybe get the best cheese for macaroni and cheese. It's probably the most creative he'll come up with at an elementary school age. Anyway, yeah, doesn't know what to do with his powers. 10 years or so later, his father is in debt with the mafia, and he has to do something. And he's been given these powers like years ago, and he thinks he's finally ready to figure out what they're for. So he goes after one of them head honchos of the mafia. It's small big mafia, you know, where the head honchos probably don't go around with bodyguards, because that makes sense. And the gimmick is four horsemen of the apocalypse. So first he goes after the Death Man, and the Death Man is just a guy who breaks people's kneecaps in exchange for money. And the Death Guy, he's all on his own until Cheeseman, the boy Cheeseman, in his poorly made outfit, and he's wearing a cheese mask at first, and you can't see his face. Beats Surprise hits him with a steel chair, WWE style, and then pulls out some ropes out of nowhere, ties him up, and before Deathman can point out that he has a knife and he'll escape, Cheeseman will turn the rope into the most stinkiest sticky of cheese that makes Death pass out, and so Death is thrown in jail after that. And then he goes after. Does he go after war or pestilence? Famine. Pestilence. It's either pestilence or famine. One of them is going to be like an economic advisor for the mafia, and the other is just is in charge of organ harvesting. Yeah, let's go with the organ harvesting man. He's also just like mostly in charge of no one wants to be around with him because he's cutting up body parts and stuff. And so this is the part where Cheeseman discovers that he can heal his own wounds with cheese, because what's his name is gonna throw like a knife at him, and he turns that knife into cheese, and then he just jams it in, and there's no wound at all. And then Cheeseman just beats him up and does the same stinky cheese tying up of the rope. And next is the other guy. The other guy. Not War. War's last. Because War is gonna... He's the guns man. War has a gun! Oh yeah, we're going to get banned from Marvel. Pestilence or Famine is in charge of the economics business. He brings in bodyguards. So Cheeseman has to figure out how to deal with multiple person assault. Cheeseman. And Cheeseman. Oh yeah, Cheeseman. We get to see some action sequences. We see Cheeseman tripping some people over, turning people's shoes into cheese, and in order to escape from like a big group of them, he goes through a wall that he had turned into cheese, and the wall is like still there, but it's like made of cheese. They try to break through it, but it's like a thick, cold cheese. And they're not going to get through it anytime soon. They break their... Some of them hurt their fist. And then he finally corners what's his name and ties him up. Covers his head with a money bag of the stinky cheese as well. Ties him up with more stinky cheese. Gives him some air holes to breathe through, but he passes out anyways. And Cheeseman then finally goes after War, who shoots Cheeseman. And we all think that Cheeseman has been shot in the head point blank. But Cheeseman, with his utmost abilities, has learned that he can turn the bullet into cheese and the cheese back into himself because cheese heals him. And Cheeseman escapes so that he could like do some sneaky man maneuvers, and he does the same thing as he did with the other guy, and going through walls and stuffs. And then finally he comes out from, I don't know, a gun basket, and he just fires a gun which he had loaded with a cheese bullet, and it doesn't kill the War Man because War Man has a bulletproof vest, but it's really stinky cheese, and he also passes out. So all that's left is big old mob boss, good old Apocalypse. Apocalypse doesn't like that Cheeseman is running amok. So he places out a hit on the Cheese Boy, and Cheese Boy has to deal with like the hard-hitting enemies who won't let him escape. And that's when he goes into a drive, and it would seem like this would be really climactic, but he accidentally hits and runs into Apocalypse, the mob boss, and he just runs away, and that's how the mob boss is defeated in the first arc. And the rest of this season is going to introduce other characters. Oh yeah, I forgot. The place of origin where Cheeseman got is like a fantasy factory, Rob Dyrdek's fantasy factory or something. And that's going to be the place where we get all the superpowered weirdos and stuff. And the first superpowered weirdo we're going to introduce, who's eventually going to build up in character, is one known as Windmill Bill. Think of Iron Man, but with windmills and less tech. Yeah, it's just a windmill-powered guy in an armored suit, and that's all. He doesn't fire anything, except maybe a turbined wind, and that will be like a super-powered enemy of the week. We'll develop on him later, and then we'll end the season off with introducing Cheeseman's arch nemesis, the frozen yogurt, a brilliant scientist from the Fantasy Factory who got his vegan dairy machine, his vegan dairy project, the Vegan Ray project, rejected because nobody likes vegan. Vegan is a fad in this universe. It's a different universe. Do not equate the Cheeseman universe as the real world universe. Because if you do, I swear, I will write you a nasty letter saying that you have no imagination. Because imagination, anything is possible. Even World War I in the year 2000. Where was I? Oh yeah, Scientist Man is upset and he goes all, "I'm the frozen yogurt," and then he got himself a freeze ray as well. I'm not sure where we're gonna get a freeze ray, but I think it's like His vegan ray is like a very low temperature, minus 30 degrees Celsius. It's powered like minus 30 degrees Celsius. And yeah, he has a fight with the Cheeseman, but Cheeseman beats the frozen yogurt in an epic battle of wit and wherewithal. And there you have it. That's Cheeseman Season 1. I'd like to tell you all to like, share, and subscribe, because this was an unscripted video of me rambling, ranting, and other things. I could have been singing. I could have been going on a rant about something not important, but here I am, talking about Cheeseman. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if I haven't already said that before, because this is an unscripted video, not really video. It's more like a podcast, because all you're looking at is a picture of Cheeseman. That's your cue, editor, to fade out Cheeseman. That's been me. Hope you like cheese. See ya.